gone missing. So we are here to get the last whatever they got.
Last supper at Kim's.
Yeah, last supper at
Last
Kim's.
Chinese supper at Kim's.
Kim's, here in Troy, Michigan since 1974, closing for good. What's your favorite dish?
Sweet and sour chicken and egg drop soup.
How about you?
Almond boneless chicken. Yeah.
What do you know about almond boneless chicken?
I don't know very much about it, but Kim's makes the best that I've ever had.
This is an old-line Chinese restaurant, one of Metro Detroit's mainstays these past 50 years.
First booth on the right-hand side.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I knew we would get busier, but I just didn't know how busy we would get, how many people wanted to come and say goodbye.
Margaret Yee and her siblings spent their lifetimes building this business, but the next generation of Yees have other career plans.
Hi. Oh, now I can give you a hug. At least I have a breathing minute. I know, I felt so bad.
Kim's features Cantonese cuisine, you might say Detroit-style Cantonese, with a signature dish, something the next generation Chinese Americans who worked in their parents' restaurants know all about.
Almond chicken is most definitely like the king of Chinese food.
I would say for Michigan Chinese, almond chicken is the most iconic.
Everybody knows what ABC means, almond boneless chicken.
We would always put ABC on it so we could differentiate what we were packing in the carryout.
Lots of customers now, they put the order, I want ABC.
It's a Michigan thing.
ABC's origins go back to southeastern China, not far from Canton, now called Guangzhou. On the Pearl River Delta sits the city of Toisan. Toisan, not pronounced like it's spelled.
Toisan is like where the huge emigration patterns happen. So our uncle came to Michigan with, and it's like, why didn't you go to San Francisco or New York? And they landed in Cass Corridor in Chinatown. And so then, of course, he brings over his like 7 siblings. And now my dad's side was all here, but they're all Toisan.
Many decades ago, career paths for Chinese in Detroit were limited, washing clothes or serving food.
My grandfather said, well, I try laundry, but when the business is slow, I have nothing to eat. But at least if I worked in the restaurant when business is slow, I still have all these food I can eat. I won't go hungry.
Detroit's Chinatown restaurants shared recipes and adapted them for American tastes. Then the restaurants moved to the suburbs, where ABC became a top seller. At the Golden Crown in Bloomfield Hills, Connie Lowe has been making it for more than 40 years.
The older generation, they live in Michigan, they come out with this.
Does anybody know who came up with it first?
And that's the question.
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. Don't know. Well, there's some ideas of like which restaurant might have started it, but I don't know. I would never say.
When they first started the almond boneless chicken, they didn't call it almond boneless chicken. They call it washu gai.
A wasu guy?
Yeah, we heard that many of times throughout the years.
Yeah.
Saying washu gai was a little too hard for a lot of people. And actually, washu doesn't really translate to almond boneless chicken. But looking at the dish, people were able to describe it. And I think that's probably what happened.
A simple presentation. No secret ingredients, but a key one, cornstarch, which will help give ABC its crunch.
The reason I put a little cornstarch because I want to make sure they absorb all the water so it won't be so watery.
Then comes the breading and the frying.
So I dip on the breading. I make sure the breading is even.
It's all in the technique of frying the chicken and the right temperature, when to bring it out. It's all in the technique.
The chopped fried chicken rides on a bed of lettuce.
And then we put gravy on top.
Then some onions. At the Golden Crown, they used to add slivered almonds until Connie began to worry about customers with nut allergies. Now, no almonds. And no loss for ABC enthusiast Ro Roosh.
Now let me demonstrate. This chicken, when you go to open it up, is actually white and soft, and it is not dried out.
ABC comes with many dining options.
So I always like to put it on my rice so I have the sauce on it.
Everybody different. Some people ask
Exactly.
for more lettuce. Some people say, I don't want no lettuce. I don't put it on top. I always put the rice on the side.
So that's two different ways that you can have it.
Yeah.
But also in the gravy, there's water chestnuts for crunchiness. So you have more texture than just the chicken and
It's
the
good.
batter.
It's still crispy.
I mean, you just kind of gain the craving and you love, like, you end up loving the food that's there. But then your parents tell you, like, that's not real Chinese food.
No? How about Chinese American food? Susie Moy had to leave home to learn the real story about ABC.
When she moved to San Francisco, she was expecting almond chicken out there, and when she got out there, she's like, the Chinese food's not the same out here as it is back home.
I can't tell you how many restaurants. So one, you would ask about almond chicken. They're like, oh, yeah, we got almond chicken. We're like, is it deep fried? Or you would try to describe it. They're like, oh, no, not deep fried. And then sometimes they would say that it was deep fried, but it would be like a stir fry.
So I have a lot of customers, they move to Chicago, they move to Florida. Whenever I come back to visit, they always have almond chicken because of these, they don't have it anywhere else.
Well, it's kind of like Detroit pizza. People really didn't know about Detroit pizza. We had our own pizza. It wasn't just New York or Chicago.
Like square pizza and Coney Island hot dogs, our cuisine has been discovered in other places. Almond boneless chicken, you can also find it in Columbus, Ohio. So there is something those Buckeyes love about Michigan after all.